Hey everybody, Goss here. Welcome back to another episode of Unity 2D tutorials. Um, Today we're going to focus on the transform.localScale. So I'm going to show you guys how to increase and decrease a game object's scale. I created a new scene, named it Platformer, and I have the main camera, the tile map grid with different tiles, the global light 2D, and then our player. Our player object has the sprite renderer, box glider, rigid body 2D, and then player controller. Now this is the same player controller that we created in a previous video, which I will link above. I commented out a couple things. The vertical input we don't need because it's a platformer. I increased the speed to 100, and I'll explain that in a second. I commented out the vertical input getting set by the input, that get access, because we don't need it. And I commented out the actual where it gets changed. So what I did is I have rigid body.velocity equals new vector 2 horizontal input time move speed times time.delta time. This is what I added, this time.delta time, where it was just move speed. It did that every frame. And, depending on your computer, a frame could run 30, 60 times a second. Well, now if you go time delta time, it's 1 second. So that's the only changes I made to the player controller. So now, what do we do to get them to increase and decrease in size? So let's save that and go back into Unity here. And we're going to create a new script, and we're going to call this player manager for now. Create and add. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to create a input in our update. So we're going to if input dot get key down, and let's use key code W for now. And what's going to happen when we do it? We want to increase, right? What we're going to do is we're going to say transform.localScale equals new vector 3, and then we're going to, because local scale is a vector 3, so now we're going to put in our variables. So let's say because of 2, 2, 2. Now if we hit play, and if we hit W, he increases. But if we hit W again, he doesn't do anything, and we can't return to our previous size. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back in here, and we're going to do another. So if input dot get key down, key code S, and then we're going to transform dot local scale equals new vector 3 1 1 1. You save it, go back into Unity, and now when we hit W, he should increase, and when we hit S, he should decrease. So increase, decrease, increase, decrease, and you can just keep doing that. But it really, there's no functionality there. Yes, you can increase, you can decrease. Now, if you're only going to need to increase to that size and then decrease back to your original size, that's fine. But what if we need to change to different sizes at different points of the game? So what we're going to do is we're going to create a private void, so void change scale, and we're going to take in a float. We're going to call it scale. I spelled change wrong. Change. Let's make this a capital C and give it that, and then fix my little mishap. And we're going to format our document. And then we're going to go in here. We're going to take our transform.localScale. So what we're doing, we're taking our local scale and we're increasing it by 1. Okay, so we're going to take our change, so change scale, and then we're going to just put a 1 in there. So now it's going to call this with 1. And what are we going to do? We're going to take our transform.localScale and we're going to create a new vector 3, and we're going to take our scale change, so scale change, scale change, scale change. Well, we can simplify this even more. We want to create a private vector 3 here. So vector 3 change, and we're going to make it equal what we have down here. So vector 3 change equals new vector 3 scale change, scale change, scale change on the x, y, and z. Okay, that's fine. So now we're going to take our change variable here, and what we're going to do is we're going to increase, so plus equals change. So what this is going to do is that it's going to take all 3 of these variables in this vector 3 and add them to each of the 3 variables in the local scale. So let's erase that. In order to subtract, what we're going to do is we're going to take our change scale here, go change scale, and all we're going to do is add a negative to that 1 right there. And we're going to simplify this even more. Let me format that document to fix that, because we don't want to hard code numbers in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up in here, we're going to make a public float size, and we're going to leave it blank for now, and we're going to just swap those out, and we're going to keep the negative, so size negative size, so that way whatever number we give this in the inspector, this comes up as a negative variable. Okay, so size, let's say 1. So now when we hit W, it should increase the scale by 1, so it should be 2, 2, 2. Let's get rid of this maximize on play, that way you can see it. And then when we hit S, they should go back down to 1. Okay, so our scales 1, 1, 1. Now let's hit W, and up our scales 2, 2, 2. Hit S and back down to 1. And that's pretty much all you need to do to change the local scale of a game object. Is just access its transform local scale and then add or subtract a vector 3 to that, and you should be good to go. If you like this video or if you like my previous videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. Your support is very helpful and very appreciated.